Good evening, friends. I'm Steve Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and apologize we don't have the best internet situation here, but we're doing what we can this evening. I wanted to share with you, Rick on True News posted President Trump's attorney, who also defended the pedophile. Gosh, I can't think of the guy's name there. Epstein. That's who it is there. But he came out in a very provocative statement, and Rick put it on his program today there. I want to share that with you first before we kind of go into this, because I got a chance to talk to Paul today, and he was saying to me that that Trump is going. I was first trying to explain to him about how dangerous this vaccine is that Bill Gates is trying to give to the world, and of course he was telling me that Bill Gates is, Trump is getting away from him and going to be using his own vaccine to come out. Well, first I want you to see what Trump's attorney had to say about this, because I was totally shocked to even think, and I told Paul how dangerous this vaccine would be, and I also told him it doesn't matter what company you get to develop, Bill Gates is involved in all of them. Well, let's first listen to the attorney, how he says it'll be mandatory and you have no constitutional rights. This is President Trump's own attorney. Listen to this.
In the last days, as this antichrist beast system rises up and bares its teeth and makes war on the saints. Here's the first segment of Alan Dershowitz.
Alan Dershowitz.
I went to a protest, a peaceful protest at City Hall just a little over a week or two ago, and the park was shut down. You can see there was no violence going on, but the police basically informed me, a plainclothes officer informed me that the park was closed. He showed me no badge, even when I asked to see it. And he said that despite the fact that I was standing there talking to a 70-year-old woman calmly and having a polite conversation, no one was even arguing, they closed the park, they kicked us out, they told me that if I didn't leave, I could take it up with a judge, which I took to mean they would arrest me, throw me in a concrete box, and allow me to speak to a judge about the Constitution on Monday, since this was a Friday. Is Governor Andrew Cuomo allowed to shut down the Constitution because of allegations of a virus that certain medical professionals argue against?
Let's be very clear how we break down this issue. The city of New York, the state of New York, has the power to close a park based on their view that it would be helpful in defeating the pandemic. Absolutely no question about that. The Supreme Court has case after case after case saying that public health justifies closing down parks, closing down public areas. The next question is, does the governor have the right to do that? Governors generally are not authorized to make the law. They're authorized to enforce the law. So you'd have to look to see if there were legislative authority allowing the governor to close the park. If there is, then it would be legitimate. Let me put it very clearly. You have no constitutional right to endanger the public and spread a disease, even if you disagree. You have no right not to be vaccinated. You have no right not to wear a mask. You have no right to open up your business.
Wait, can I stop you? No right not to be vaccinated, meaning if they decide you have to be vaccinated, we have to be vaccinated?
Absolutely. And if you refuse to be vaccinated, the state has the power to literally take you to a doctor's office and plunge a needle into your arm. If the vaccination
Where is that in the Constitution?
If the vaccination is designed to prevent the spreading disease. If the vaccination is only to prevent a disease that you will get, for example, if there's a disease that will kill you, you have the right to refuse that, but you have no right to refuse to be vaccinated against a contagious disease. Public health, the police power of the Constitution, gives the state the power to compel that, and there are cases in the United States Supreme Court. Case that pops into my head, I may have the name wrong, is Jacobson. I think probably I have it right. Check it out. You'll see that there are cases after cases after cases that the public health permits reasonable actions to prevent the spread of communicable diseases. Most of them grow out of tuberculosis cases in the early 20th century, but some are more recent than that. But there
So I guess you get the gist of this. According to Donald Trump's own attorney, Alan Dershowitz, constitutional mandatory vaccines. Well, listen, all you need to do is look at Sherry Tenpenny, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, Dr. Merkowitz, I believe, I forget how you pronounce Dr. Merkowitz's name correctly. I apologize if I don't get that exactly right. We have Bobby Kennedy, JFK's, I believe that's his nephew. All these individuals coming out showing the dangers of these vaccines, and quite frankly, the vaccines that they're just going to put in warp speed with no normal testing of any other vaccine ever, and then make it mandatory for you to get it. Well, listen, I'm also dealing with, where is it at here? Somewhere on my, Bill Gates. This is on Humans Are Free. Bill Gates admits 700,000 people will die, harmed, or killed by coronavirus vaccines. And this is all supposed to be okay. Well, as Paul told me, hey, Trump's going to come out with his own vaccine there, and they're going to sidestep Trump. He admitted he saw what the Italians were doing. The Italians want to put Bill Gates in prison. And so, but I told Paul, I said, listen, Paul, Bill Gates is in every vaccine company, every pharmaceutical company there is. He's got his paws in there. Okay, well, let's see. Well, who did then Trump then select to be the top guy there for his warp speed vaccination protocol there? Trump appoints Moroccan expert to lead the COVID-19 vaccine development team. This guy right here, right? Well, it's kind of interesting. I'll post these links there for you a little bit later there. But this guy right here, right when he got appointed, Moderna says White House coronavirus vaccine chief is divesting. And I don't know how well you guys can see it because we're doing this live and we're using the television screen, so I'll try to get this big enough for you. The former pharmaceutical executive leading the White House coronavirus vaccine effort is divesting from vaccine developer Moderna Incorporated. Remember the one I just did recently about Moderna? The biotech company said Monday after early stage test results sent its stock soaring, Monosef Slui resigned from Moderna's board of directors when the Trump administration tapped him last week to be chief advisor for its Operation Warp Speed, a push to develop and distribute a vaccine to address the COVID-19 pandemic. But he still had stock options for 156,000 Moderna shares. Based on Friday's closing price, they were worth about $10 million. All right. Now, here's this guy here that Trump has put in, and he's the good guy, right? Oh, he's the good guy. And Trump's got his own thing there. And of course, Paul told me it's going to, getting away from Bill Gates. All right, let's take a look then. This guy was the board of director of Moderna, still has stocks in Moderna worth $10 million, right? Well, you can just sell them off now and make a really good profit after all that. Well, let's go look at the video that I did, and I did this one real quick. It was called The Master Plan, May 2nd. All right, I'm looking here on Moderna's own website. So listen to this here. Right here, and we'll kind of blow this up and circle around everything. Moderna and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that's the secreted part of the Moderna technology. So they're not going to tell you anything about that. Going around like a clock, Moderna and Alexion, liver intracellular. Vertex, they partnered with them for the lungs. And then we go around and prophylactic vaccines. Now look who all they're partnered with here. Merck, BARDA, and DARPA. Just like Celeste said in that video, hydrogel technology, microchipping that will blend right into your own DNA. I'm really kind of irritated today too. After the things, I tried talking with Paul. He give his opinions on things, and I tried to really get him to understand some things. And You know, and he said that Glick had spliced the video that he did that I reported on about Isaiah, that he was standing for Christ and the law, but clearly Paul didn't do that when he was speaking with Glick. But today they come out with a video with Glick, and he did bring, because I asked him straight up, I said, Paul, you need to show that, you know, because Paul said he visits the Palestinians when he's over there in Israel. I said, but you got to tell the people about that. Stand up for the oppressed. So today he does bring it out, brings it out with Glick on a video, and then I'm hearing Glick saying, oh yes, we treat the Syrians in our hospitals free of charge. I'm like totally shocked. This is standing up for the oppressed. You know, I reported on what Israel was doing with the quote unquote Syrians that they were treating in the hospital. I actually took Livni Tsepi's own words on RT when they asked them why didn't they care and help the Syrians. And she said, are you serious? Israel helped the Syrians? Never. Or she said, are you absurd in even asking that? Well, RT pointed out, well, you treat the Al-Qaeda and ISIS militants that you're backing over in Syria, they're not Syrian civilians. So no, they're not really helping the oppressed. I'm going to, listen, I don't want to bring Paul up into this anymore. I'm going to leave that alone, all right? But I will tell you one thing. I'm going to get back with Miko Peled and maybe his sister, who's a professor at the University of Jerusalem. Have them on and discuss, so you can see and hear from Israelis, are Palestinians that are oppressed, are they really being helped by the Israeli government? Anyway, that's a different story altogether. I wanted to bring this out to you though right here. Listen, we're going to cut this broadcast here, let it load on up. I'm fixing to go into the breaking story too of the Israeli coalition. They formed a new government, the most wackiest government in history. And I think we'll just do it as a separate broadcast. So we'll go ahead and let this one load. Give it just a, oh gosh, no, it's 12:21 at night. No, that's, sorry. Oh, it's almost midnight now. Listen, we get this video load up real quick. And then I'm going to show you how that and I really, Yana was speaking, or actually Yana got this information sent to her from Adam Green about the Orthodox coalition. Really, they're getting major power. So I'm going to speak about that here in just a little bit. So bear with me a few minutes. Blessings to you.